candies, don't test me. I'll put you in the death squeeze, just like an orange in the summer.
The four of us ran report after report looking for similarities between the Kentucky offices and the others. Eric found out that the Midwest area owners are also the silent owners of the offices where embezzlement was found. A total of 6 people were indicted last year, but the person they answered to couldn't be touched, because there's no information indicating Christina Nerf, was involved. Well, the attorney couldn't bring the evidence to the district attorney, because it was considered fruit from the poisonous tree. The evidence they acquired was tainted, due to the warrant being revoked right before the officers entered the MIA International headquarters in Kansas. Looking a little further into the silent owner, we found out that the sitting judge that signed the warrant is an acquittance of Christina Nerf, which wouldn't be noticed because there's no real connection between the two. We've learned that Christina and the judge were both in the same domestic abuse safe house when they were younger. They kept in contact mainly through email, and never called or seen together in public. The only way to know is to have either been in that house with them or have access to their email accounts. I was able to locate emails from Judge Lily Brown asking Christina for a favor. Her daughter was out drinking the night before and got in a one-car accident. Her vehicle flipped and landed in a ditch. Due to the car being turned over, normally the police would have to be called, and the driver of the vehicle is charged with a DUI and the vehicle is impounded. In this case, Judge Brown saved her daughter from legal proceedings and loads of charges. She sent out one of her contractors to help, and the driver notified Christina that there was a deceased person in the back seat. She reached out to Judge Brown and, well, they worked together so no one was charged. Steve started to run reports on missing persons in the area. This way we can start searching for each person so we can locate the body of the backseat passenger. With that information alone, all 4 of these people involved, including the judge's daughter, will have to face the justice system. They really live by the saying, scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. It's time to call the agency to fill them in. It seems that we're going to have loads of marks. This entire thing is a mess. Rhonda mentioned you fetch the encrypted communication device and camera, set it up and open the green screen so our personal safe house can remain a safe house. Some may think that it's okay for the agency to know everything about us, but we've all learned differently when the agency made both Rhonda and Eric marks. From then on, most of us have safe houses that cannot be traced to us. Therefore, when we need to disappear, we have a place to go, along with our families. Eric made the call as we all sat around the table waiting for our agency's logo to come up. A few minutes later it appears. Then there was the face of John Forte. He was one of the field agents that believed Eric and Rhonda, and the only one that had the ability and reach to expose the unicorn file. Good day, Billy and Steve. It's nice to have you back. I received the communication from Rhonda. Do you have additional information? Good day, John. And yes, we do, I replied. While I was answering, Steve uploaded her most recent findings so John can follow along. Eric was advising John that this is the information we gathered within the past hour. Knowing if we look deeper, we'll find a lot more information that proves that this organization is not only getting over on their employees but on the public and government as well. Rhonda lifts her head and advises that she was able to locate a little over a dozen missing person reports, and every one of them worked at MIA Towing International Midwest. 3 years ago, this organization infiltrated MIA East Coast with one single person that took our office by storm. From the CEO to the managers, they either complied or ended up missing. After running down the information we obtained, John concluded that he wanted to discuss this over with the board. He stated that there's no additional information needed on our end, and the only thing we need to do is stay in a secure location and only talk or text on secured lines. John stated he would send someone to meet up with us in 3 days at 200 hours, at 39.8769 minus 75.2933. If you're unaware, that's the latitude and longitude of where we need to meet the messenger that will give us everything we need to proceed. Rhonda reached into her bag and pulled out 4 encrypted cell phones and a black envelope. Eric and Steve both received a cell phone along with their new phone numbers that only we will have. I, on the other hand, was given an encrypted cell phone that was resting on a black envelope. Rhonda explained that this is the information for my mark and that we follow the same procedure as we did when we were in the field. Our marks are delivered to us in one of 2 color envelopes. If you get a black envelope, you have 30 days to make your mark. Inside of the envelope is a front and side picture of the person you're going to assassinate, and on the bottom right corner there's normally a red stamp that will either say, murder, suicide, or accident. This way we know how the agency wants this person handled. If your target is supposed to be murdered, there will be a cleanup team nearby to make sure that you and those involved aren't caught by the police, since our agency is a secret to the world. The CIA is made up of different departments and spin-off groups, such as ours. We're the ones that sit behind the scene and take care of all the dirty work. Then there are the red envelopes. With these envelopes you have 1 day, 1 shot, 1 chance, and 1 chance only. If your mark gets away or lives, you failed your mission and must go into the agency's headquarters for debriefing and possible reassignment. Now, that reassignment doesn't mean you're going to get another mission. Instead, you'll be transferred to another country to help with the dumbest things, like security detail or being parked at a desk for the rest of your career. The only way you can even make it that far is if they trust that you won't say anything to anyone. Best believe if there's no trust, you're someone's mark way before you make it to the headquarters office. As far as getting another mark, that depends on your track record. In the beginning, everyone starts off with black envelopes. After you have leveled up twice, you have the opportunity to get red envelopes. Everyone's goal is to be good enough to level up to get red envelopes. Like Rhonda and Eric, the screen went dark. I excused myself to see who my mark is, although I already knew it was going to be Andrew Glocks. I locked my apartment door behind me, leaving the 3 of them at the hub. Throwing my envelope on the bed, I make my way to the shower. In some ways, I'm excited to see whose picture is inside, but it also bothers me because I considered Andrew a friend. More like family, because he was there when I was going through health concerns with Michael, and I was there for whatever he needed. All he had to do was say the word and I was there and had his back. After my shower, I laid across the bed and text Jean. I laid there looking at the black envelope, wondering if I should open it now or open in the morning. Who am I kidding? I'm too nosy to let it sit overnight. I sat on the edge of the bed, slowly opening up this black envelope, hoping and praying that Andrew is my mark. I turned the envelope around so when I pull the picture out I wouldn't see the person. I guess I like to torture myself. I take a deep breath, and I exhale a few seconds later, slowly turning the picture around with my eyes squinted. I open my eyes quickly because there's no way. I look at it again, flip it over to get the speck, and damn if it isn't Steve. This has to be a mistake, I kept saying to myself. Not Steve. He was with me when Michael was born. When my husband was murdered, he was there. He saved my life, and I saved his. Just for the agency to force me to kill him. I look at the picture again and it's stamped murder. So basically they don't give a damn how he dies. Just make sure he's not breathing. There has to be something wrong with me because I keep looking in the envelope to see if there's a I gotcha card in there or something. But there was nothing. Placing the profile back inside, I decided locking this up made more sense now than ever. No sooner than I locked my safe, someone knocked on the door. Who is it? It's Rhonda. I rushed to the door to let her in and offered her a drink. Scotch on the rocks, please. I went over to my wet bar and made her drink of choice. So what brings you here? What's up? Billy, this is going to be hard. I wanted to warn you that this is not to see if you're loyal. We found out Steve isn't as loyal as we thought. What? No way. He's a good guy. Good guy or not, you have to handle him. But what did he do to show he isn't loyal? He's been murdering people for the fun of it. No reason, just killing them. If he gets caught, he's going to turn us in as well. Rhonda, you don't know him like I know him. Did you know he murdered 29 people last year alone? Holy cow, 29. We found blood to one of the victims in his apartment.